as we talk about this, and one of the topics would be the reopening of the vacancy for the city commission seat. I had mentioned that on numerous of occasions from the dais and so forth. And why it is last is because of the fact that it's not that significant. Some think that it is, that it's the most important thing that could happen in this city. It is important because of the fact, yes, the city commission shall fill the seat. Not a commissioner, not two commissioners, not three commissioners, but the four that are there. So with that, if you're going to have people that are going to drop out and come back in, then why not open it up for others to come in? You know, we do this all the time in cities across this land when we have vendors and RFPs that go out. We don't come to a consensus as the leaders of that community or city. Hey, we decide to go back out again until we do get the right mix and so forth. So there's nothing new with this under the sun, okay, about doing this. And the only problem that I've had from the beginning was that, and I'm gonna open this up and you can come and you can say what you like, but the only problem I have, it says the commission shall fill. Now, when you have a person that sit in that seat and said that they're the mayor and they're gonna do this or that, they haven't gotten input from the rest of us. And there's at least 3 other commissioners. And I certainly want to give input, and I wanted to do that. I said that from day one, that I wanted to give the input. But unbehold, and our mayor would not do that. He still has not done that. We still don't have a process, and I'll, you know, say that over and over again. It's been within the minutes. It's been recorded at least 7 times, and this is what I know. I'm not talking about things that may happen, because I won't entertain anything else per se. And when I say we won't tonight, if it's something that's going to come up on a vote. So I'm going to stay away from that. But what I'm telling you is things I know. And I know that at every meeting I brought up, let's have a workshop, let's sit down and discuss the process. We didn't even shortlist them, okay? We never had that process in place. So there's a procedure in order to do things. And I, for one, feel as a leader in this community, I can't speak for Commissioner Brandimarte, can't speak for any of the others, I can speak for me, because you elected me. And therefore, I'm speaking. And I'm saying there's a process. And if you go by the process, I'm willing to be included. I like to have my comments included. But here's something I'd just like to say, and then I'll shut up and let you come, those that would like to speak. The city charter specifically states that the commission fills a seat. Not one commissioner, but we all share in that. The mayor and Duke and Commissioner Graves first, we must agree to a process. And that process, how we will shortlist. That never came before us to say we shortlist them. We interviewed and later a majority vote on the candidates to be appointed. To date, we have not done that. At our first meeting, Mayor Duke discussed this is how it's going to work. It was not something where I had any input. I was told how it was going to work. And then during that meeting, we commented on the fact that I haven't shared in how to proceed process. And it went on and on about him being mayor and so forth. So you've seen it play out over and over and over like a bad song. Keep coming back like a nightmare and a dream. And I just feel that if the mayor is willing to compromise, certainly I'm willing to compromise. But that compromise now has gone past where it needs to go. We should have done this before. It's been bass-ackward, if you understand, okay? And we've done it backwards. And therefore, it should be a system where there's input. When we had the Commissioner Mackey step away from the dais, commissioners had input. They sit down and discuss among themselves in a workshop, this is the input that we would have, okay, and do. And guess what? Within 45 minutes, they had chosen someone. But this mayor fails to do that. He feels that he's the only one and the only show. Second meeting, we had more of the same. I suggested then that we put them in 3 categories. He teased me with the pods, but categories meaning served, haven't served, and those that have been elected. That's how you shortlist, okay? And that's how you get down. Didn't we just do that with the auditors? We shortlisted them, okay? And even though there were only 4, but we still shortlisted those that were there. And therefore, that's what I think we should have done. Well, the motion that I made failed, and that's where we are. So I'm not going to go through all that. You've seen it play out. You know what the deal is, and I'm quite sure you have some things to say. So with that, I'm going to ask Commissioner Brandimarte if she'd like to say anything, and then from there, I'm allowed you to come in your way what you would like to say.
I watched that meeting last week, and the only thing I don't like is when someone bashes, really heavy bashes someone. You've been watching all the commission meetings, and I don't like bashing, so anybody can get up and talk, but I really don't like to tolerate any bashing, or especially don't turn your back to the people that couldn't come to the meeting because maybe they were seniors and they couldn't get out. Maybe people had surgery that day and they were watching it anyway. But you have people come up before us that actually, I heard him say, the only people that care about the city are in this room. And I want to tell you something, that's so untrue. The people at home that can't get out, that don't have a ride, it's dark and they don't want to come out, they still care about this city. So to say untruths like that, that bothers me as president of the seniors, because I'll tell you, I have 258 members, and you're one of them, little lady right there, right? And I want to tell you something, there are maybe 50 that don't come. I'm not mad they don't come. I don't badmouth them because they don't come. I know that they want to stay part of the seniors. They pay their $5 dues unless they hit the age of 90. I have this rule in my club. Once you hit 90, you don't have to pay anymore. You've earned it. You're free, you come. And that's the way that it is. So when people don't come to either this meeting or even our commission meeting, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just don't want to come for whatever reason it is. And you can't take that right away from them. So when a person that's even going to run for office, I understand, gets up here and says, the only people that care about the city are the people here in this audience, that's not true. And I'm telling you why it's not true. And if you think I like sitting up there and listening to this week after week, now we'll be down to 25 because I made a calendar, and the calendar marked 1 to 28, I think it was, or a little more than that. And if things change, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to bring in new people. I'm not stuck in any kind of a hole. I'm willing to do it, but we got to just do it the right way. And I can't even say the right way because I don't want to violate any kind of a law that there's actually, could you believe, we're all neighbors, we're all friends, yet there are at least 3 people in this audience who are dying to get a sunshine violation, but not from me and not tonight.
Okay, with that said, entertain questions, Jay, Lay here, and anyone else, just raise your hand and we'll try to go in the order that we need. You need the mic?
Okay, first of all, I'd just like to address the FTC thing first.
Okay.
That, you know, we're dealing with a train supposedly that is going to be running at 80 miles an hour. It might not be running 80 miles an hour in our town. I'm very concerned about the railroad crossings we've got here because there's no sidewalks, specifically for pedestrians. We need to start thinking about how we're going to protect people. We need to have sidewalks separately from the asphalt over here, you know, gates and everything, to get the pedestrians separated from the road, first of all. The next thing is that, you know, you're talking about a train that is going to be coming at you at a probably, if it's 80 miles an hour, it might not be that here, about 130 feet a second.
Right.
So, you know, this is coming on, and there's people that cross this tracks all the time. We need to think about somehow fencing off that track. And we talk to the FTC, so people, the kids, children especially, because they've been used to freight trains, which usually run at 35 miles an hour. Now you've got something coming down the tracks that is more than twice as fast. You know, they're gonna, this train is gonna be killing people right and left. It's just incredible to me, you know, that this is going to happen. I didn't see the preparations for it, but I think the city should try to protect their children because you see them going across that track all the time. Not as you cross it. Now, as far as the vacancy goes, well, not much different from Washington. But let me just say that I served on the Charter Review Board some years ago, and we voted to put on there that the vacancies were going to be filled by elections. And this was voted in by the citizens of Dania Beach. And then they gave us home rule, such a deal, to where by majority vote, the city commission could take away all the work we did on the Charter Review Board and all the votes in an election to say how the city elections were going to be run during a vacancy and substituted what we have now. You know, if everybody had just left it well enough alone, we wouldn't be in this mess. And I say, oh well, $60,000 for a special election. Well, $60,000 is the price of democracy. Democracy is not the cheapest and most elegant form of government. But $60,000 would have saved us a lot of heartache to what we're going through now. So, you know, change things around that are voted in by the people. It's just disgusting that the state legislature actually gave you all the power to take away what we worked on that Charter Review Board, what the people of this city voted on, and you say, oh well. So I don't really know if there's any way out of this mess at this stage. I think you should open it up maybe to more people. You know, this is like Washington, you know, it's just two different maybe philosophies. I don't know, you know, I don't know what the answer is. So maybe I would go on and maybe try to open it up, and I agree with the process. But for, you know, go back, we get past this mess, and go back to having a special election. $60,000, if that's what it is, for a special election is a small price to pay for democracy and peace of mind, and that's what you should do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioners, Brandimarte and Jones, I have some questions about the process or the lack of. From what Mr. Jay just said, you don't have something written in the charter about how to fill a vacancy. Is that correct, sir?
Well, something is written in the charter. That's the fact is, and I'm gonna let the attorney talk rather than me.
You've read it.
I read it and I understand it. But
It does say, in the event there's a vacancy,
Yes.
it will be filled by the remaining commissioners.
Okay.
It used to say, if there were 6 months or less before an election, the commission would fill it. If there were more than 6 months before an election would take place, a special election would take place.
Right.
The last time the Charter Review Board met about 2 years ago, everybody remembered how costly the special election was. At that time, my recollection is it was $125,000 for a special election. And there was no stomach from the Charter Board or the Commission because the Commission approved the change. And so we felt, let's go with the Commission will fill it. No one anticipated there would be a deadlock. There is a deadlock. Hopefully that will be resolved between them.
But my question is, there is no process.
The process must be picked by them, that's correct.
Okay. And so the 4 commissioners have not been able to come to an agreement on the process?
Correct. Correct.
Because I'm looking at you, Mr. Jones, as your former educator, and I saw how your lists are exactly what I would do as an educator. I see that. And that's been blown apart. It's not been accepted?
Not been accepted, ma'am.
Okay, and my other comment is,